Inside Out is presented by HTC. This is life. Connect with it. And Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food where Mama eats. Along with the McGuire Law Firm. Be kind today and tomorrow.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Inside Out. Last month when we ended the show, we told you we're going to be taking a tour this month of Sandy Island, but it didn't happen. Too much rain. The roads were flooded. So sooner or later, we will get you over there to Sandy Island. However, this month, we're going to visit a collard green farm. We're going to learn more about this beautiful Waccamaw River. Chef Danny Smith tells us how to dress up a plate with other culinary secrets. We'll introduce you to a pet food bank for low-income families. We'll also talk about McKenzie Beach, a beautiful beach of yesteryear. But we begin with a topic that salutes veterans, that being Quilts of Valor. Welcome, friends, to November's Inside Out. November is always a great month to salute veterans, but right now I want to salute those who salute the veterans, and that's the folks with Quilts of Valor. I know you've heard of them, but they're doing an incredible job. I want you to meet Joan Wobbleton. She happens to be very involved and has been with her husband Jim for how many years now?
Since 2010.
What do we call y'all? You're some sort of regional directors?
Regional advisors at this point, yes. We were coordinators and now we're advisors. We're stepping back and we're passing the baton to a younger generation. And Kathleen Williams and her husband Glenn are Army, and they're going to be the new facilitators for the Myrtle Beach Shorebirds.
But I know you and Jim aren't walking away. You guys are going to be so very involved as always, and rightfully so. You've given a lot of time and energy.
Yes.
This is a big region for you. You call yourselves the Myrtle Beach Shorebirds, Quilts of Valor, but you handle Florence too.
Yes. The Florence area is going to be covered by the Swamp Fox Quilters. And right now they have 104 veteran requests pending. And because of the virus, we have not been able to award quilts. So we are going to be facilitators along with them and guide them, help them through this new process for them.
And you told me, too, that you go up to the Calabash area.
Yes. If we have a veteran, for instance, on Facebook, I saw this picture of this 100-year-old gentleman, and I said Rolling Thunder had posted it. Has that veteran gotten a Quilt of Valor? So they checked it out, and he hadn't. So I asked them, would they mind taking a quilt to this veteran? And so a group of the Rolling Thunder got on their bikes, arranged with the daughter and the veteran, and they took the quilt up there and they awarded it for us.
What qualifies someone to be a recipient?
Anyone who has served during a combat era from World War II to present is eligible for one of our quilts. They don't have to have had boots on the ground in that combat. They just have to have been serving during that time of the combat. And you just go on our website, qovf.org, and there's an area that says request a Quilt of Valor or nomination. Click on that. The form will come up. They go on, they fill it out, submit it, and it will go to the state, the national, and then it'll go to the state coordinator of that state. So anyone in the U.S. who has somebody that has served and they would like to have them get a Quilt of Valor, they can do that.
Well, as I said at the onset of the show, I want to salute those who salute the veterans, because where would we be without those people? And you've got a bunch of volunteers who have made these quilts behind us, who are in the process of making more. And I know, though, you'd like to have more volunteers. Even if people can't quilt, you'll teach them.
Exactly. We have 175 members who are Myrtle Beach Shorebirds members. And it was $5 a year. Now it's $10 a year to be a member. But we have our group that makes the kits, and they are a pre-cut fabric. They have a pattern, And what they do is they come to us and tell us they want to help, and we'll show them the kit, and they'll take it home, sew it, put it together, and then bring it back to us. And then when it comes back to us, we have the long arm here in the garage that the batting and the backing is added to it, and then it's quilted. Then the binding goes on, and then the label goes on. It's about a 100-hour process from the time we go out and get the money and then go purchase the fabric to the time we can award it. So it's about 100 hours, and our quilts are valued maybe about $300 a piece.
That's a real important part, money.
Yes.
Folks who would like to honor veterans can make donations to this organization, and you're desperate for that because there are so many more veterans waiting for quilts. When COVID's over, you'll be able to do a lot better job, but you need some funds.
Yes. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So if anybody is interested in supplying us with funds, we will use that to buy fabric, batting, thread, shipping, postage, stamps, the things that make us run.
Now, the little whisper we heard in the background was Jim, and that is Joan's husband. He's over here in the corner working on a quilt as we speak. But I want you to salute him because not only is he your partner in crime here, but he too is a veteran.
Jim is a U.S. Air Force veteran. He retired 20 years, and he runs this quilting machine. It's computerized. I don't do that. He does. So he makes a lot of the quilts for our veterans.
Let's talk about what's going to happen this month. People can stop by the Horry County Museum because you have a display.
We've arranged with the Horry County Museum on Main Street to hang quilts from the 10th of November till the 17th of December. On the 18th of December, at 1 o'clock, it's a Saturday, and in their auditorium, we will be awarding 18 quilts to veterans. We will be contacting the veterans so that they can go and see their quilt prior to it being awarded to them.
So even though here in this garage there are several hundred quilts, there's other members who have lots of quilts in their garages. I want to know some of the other quilting clubs that are part of the Myrtle Beach Shorebirds who make Quilts of Valor happen.
Sure. Grand Strand Quilters, they meet at the Rec Center, General Robert Reed on Market Commons. Coastal Carolina Guild, they are not meeting, but they were meeting in Oceanside Village. And then the Conway Guild, which meets, I believe, at Oak Street in the elementary school. They are part of the Horry County Public Library, I believe, or something. And they're very active in awarding Quilts of Valor and helping out the community in many, many ways, making dog beds and neonatal stuff, and wonderful group, wonderful.
Finally, I know you want to salute other partners. We need more partners, we need more money, we need more quilters, but there are some folks that deserve some recognition to help you make this happen for the veterans.
Yes. One of the places that we usually go to award quilts is the Veterans Cafe. 3544 Northgate Shopping Center behind Cece's Pizza.
We've been there, love the place.
Yes, and he's open Monday through Friday, 7 till 2. It's a Vietnam veteran and his wife, and in December we're going to be there 2 Wednesdays and 3 Fridays. So,
and I heard it's a pretty big amount that they have helped you raise.
Yes, they have helped us raise at their, usually it was in April, a fundraiser for us, and they've helped raise about $52,000 for us.
And that's wonderful.
And we just love them.
Well, it's a beautiful place, and it's a great museum too. And if you ever want to know more about the wars and veterans, Veterans Cafe is certainly a great place to go.
Museum.
And I can't thank you enough, Joan, and all the volunteers who salute these veterans. And if you know of a veteran who needs to be saluted, if you would like to get involved, if you want to write a check, we've got all the information for you right there. November's a great time to make that commitment since we have Veterans Day. And frankly, every day should be Veterans Day. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Jim, in the corner over there working while we have fun.
Thank you.
Up next, it's Johnny Graham and his collard greens.
No matter where the day takes me, HTC provides the high-speed internet services I need. HTC delivers faster speeds, 24/7 local tech support, and free in-home Wi-Fi right here to Horry and Georgetown counties. As trusted community members serving up world-class internet service, I know HTC will keep my family connected to what matters most. Because you are here, and so are we.
High-speed internet starting at 100 megabits per second. Call today.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
This segment of Inside Out is brought to you by Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food, where Mama eats.
A couple of months ago, I met our next guest, and we found each other at the Conway Farmers Market. And he was doing peanuts that day, delicious boiled peanuts. But today we're going to talk about collard greens. We're at his farm, and it is a really neat place. Collard greens, kale, kohlrabi, radishes. Oh, Johnny's got it all. Johnny Graham, let's talk a little bit about you. First of all, where were you born in these parts?
I was actually born in Loris, South Carolina, but I was raised in Wampee. That's a couple miles from here.
Right, and this farm is in Longs.
It's in Longs, sorry.
Tell me about, first of all, the peanuts. When we saw you at the Conway Farmers Market all summer, you were selling peanuts.
Right.
And whereabouts here did you grow those peanuts?
The peanuts were grown in this field right across behind us here. We had about 30, 40 rows of peanuts, and which since then we've already harvested and sold already.
I know you enjoy going to all the farmers markets, and that's where people can find Johnny. When you see him out there, you better know that everything he's got is delicious and fresh.
Right.
Now let's talk about collards. When do you plant collards so that they come up at the right time?
Well, there's actually two different times you can plant collards. You can plant collards in October, which is pretty much the best time to plant them. That way you're beyond the storms and stuff from messing them up. But honestly, you can start planting collards as early as 1st of September. And then if you plant the 1st of September, you'll have collards ready for Thanksgiving. But mostly I just plant collards so that mine will be ready by Christmas. And we set up to sell collard greens on right across from 411 Robert Grissom Parkway in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, and are you there daily?
We're there Friday and Saturday from 10 until dark.
Well, I know folks are going to be interested in that because everybody wants to get fresh collard greens.
Right, so we'll start there the week before Thanksgiving, and then we'll stay there until New Year's Day.
And you got to have collards on New Year's Day.
And we'll have collards on New Year's Day for sure. And not only collards, we'll have mustard greens, turnips, rutabaga, kohlrabi, broccoli, kale. I have both mustards, curly and slick. Gosh, there's so much I can't even remember.
Well, that's great. You got all the winter vegetables that people expect.
Yes.
Has this been a good season weather-wise? We know it's been pretty wet. Has this hindered you?
It's been a good season for us, but the weather has played a big part in our farm because our farm down here is a little bit more wetter than most places are because we're lower here. But we've managed to pull our crops out what we could do.
So when you're out of the farmer's market, do you find that people want more collards or do they want more kale? Because I'm not as much into kale as I am to collards.
Well, honestly, by the time the collards are ready, we're out of the farmer's market. And so I could probably sell a lot of kale and turnip greens at the farmer's market when the season is, and starting like in the 1st of October. You can sell more collards and more kale, not collards though, because collards aren't really good until after the first frost.
So let's talk a little bit about kohlrabi. I've really not gotten into that much, but don't people use that in smoothies and stuff?
I'm not sure about that, but I know the kohlrabi, I mean, it tastes kind of like, it looks like a turnip, but you can cook it and it tastes like kind of like cabbage. Honestly, I'm not sure of how many ways people use it, but when I cook it, I love the tops off of it and I love the bottom all mixed together. I mean, it tastes really good. I mean, honestly, I can take the kohlrabi and then I'll cut up a white potato in it and add a little bit of fresh sausage, and I'll make like a soup out of it and make it a kind of creamy soup, and it's really, really good.
Wow,
Yeah.
kohlrabi Graham soup. Named after you. I like it. Well, let me ask you this. What is your best green recipe? When you're cooking collards or kale, how do you make it special?
What I do, well, my mama used to cook them, and I've always learned. I learned a lot from my mom when she was living. What we use smoked turkey meat in our greens. We try not to use much pork. But not saying I don't eat pork, but saying we try not to use as much pork. But we use smoked turkey necks or turkey meat in our greens, a special seasoning, and then just cook them up.
Wait a minute. A special seasoning. Okay, you don't have a restaurant. You can kind of tell us what might be in that seasoning.
Well, I can't tell you everything, but it consists of several different spices, and then I put that in my collard greens, and it's out of this world.
That good, huh?
Yes.
Wow. Yes. People should always wash collards really good.
Absolutely.
And a lot of folks like them real mushy, but then other people like them a little chewier.
A little crispier. Yeah. Honestly, I like my collards a little crispy, but if you let them stay until after the first frost, I mean, they're going to be a little crispy sweet anyway. So, I mean, they're just going to be great.
Did you ever put beer in collard greens?
Beer? No.
Because I don't like beer, Johnny, but one time years ago on a TV show, I had a chef put beer in the collard greens, and was really good, because once that beer cooks, it doesn't really taste, you don't taste the beer, but somehow it just helped the collard greens to, I don't know, maybe just be tastier.
Yeah. Well, what the beer does, honestly, the beer is it's made with yeast, and what that yeast does is it breaks down the collard a little bit, and so it doesn't make it as chewy. It makes it a little bit more smoother to eat. That's probably why it was a little bit better, but I don't use beer. I just use my special seasoning and my turkey meat.
So, Johnny, why do you think we don't have more produce farms? I mean, we used to have a bunch here.
We used to have a bunch. Well, you see, back in the day when produce was the thing, and everybody wanted local produce. I mean, you'd be riding down the road and there'd be a farm with nothing but tomatoes, and you'd swing over there and ask the guy whatever, and then you'd pay for whatever, and then you'd get him and go. Well, and that farmer, that's how he was living, just selling tomatoes. And the next farmer had something else, the next farmer had something else. But what happened is that everybody started doing the produce farming thing, and then it just flooded the market. And then at that point, a lot of people invested a lot of money into produce. And so the farmer just, that particular farmer was losing, and this guy was losing this, and that guy was losing that. And so they just kind of wilted away. They had to start wilting away because they couldn't afford to feed their families off selling produce. And so that's why in Horry County, there's a handful of produce farmers here.
It's sad.
It's pretty sad, yeah. But, it's just the way the world rolls.
You have named this farm J&J after your daughters. What are their names?
Janice and Jalea Graham.
They're the Jays. And any hopes that they'll take over the farm someday?
My hope is for them to take over and keep this running, but I really don't know, because one wants to be a doctor and the other wants to be a lawyer, and I don't see a doctor and a lawyer out here getting dirty.
They're going to be able to support you with those careers. I would probably not talk them into staying on the farm.
Honestly, I told them that when I get to the point that I can't go, just put me in a nursing home where the good-looking women are and just leave me alone. Keep bringing me $101 bills every week, and I'll be just fine.
Now, Johnny, what is going to happen when your wife hears this interview?
She's going to
She's going to say, well, you can go to the nursing home right now.
So she'll probably send me right now. I probably could get admitted right now, honestly.
Johnny.
With my health conditions, I could probably get admitted right now.
Oh, gosh. Well, we want you to stay healthy for a long time to come because we enjoy seeing you at the farmers markets. And so, friends, look for J&J Farms and just know that whatever you get from Johnny Graham, it's going to be scrumptious. Give me 5.
Thank you,
Thank you, Johnny. Happy holidays coming up.
Thank you.
I like it. I like it. Keeping the Waccamaw River in tip-top shape. That's what's coming up. Proper serving, proper distancing. We're into safety at Magnolia's. Our staff now plates your food with all your favorite choices from the buffet, salad bar, and dessert bar. And it's still all you can eat. There's also breakfast, evening, and an expanded Sunday buffet. Mama says she can't cook it that cheap. Plus, the kids will love the yummy ice cream machine. Magnolia's, good old Southern comfort food. It's where Mama eats. This month, we wanted to honor veterans, so we visited veterans memorials from one end of our coverage area to the other. Well, as you can see, I'm social distancing with my new friend Cara here on the Waccamaw River. And Cara, tell everybody where we're located at this time.
Sure. We are here at beautiful Chris Anderson Landing, right on Highway 9 in Longs, and it's a great place to put in a boat.
It is, and even if you don't have a boat, it's a great place to come sit on the rocks and fish.
Oh yeah, we see people down here fishing all the time, whether here or off the dock, and there's a nice little picnic area down there too.
And that's what I want to talk about. It's a great time for people to get out and be on the river, Cara, because there's no humidity.
Yes.
And obviously, whether you have a boat or not, there's plenty of opportunities to catch fish as well as
clean up. We always need cleanups. We always love to see people out here at the landings doing cleanups. And, you know, we live in a watershed, so any water that's running to the river, whether it's from your backyard or the ditches beside your house, all of that's going to end up in the river. So we love to see people cleaning up anywhere.
Let's talk about your relationship with Winyah and how that all ties in together.
Sure. I am the Waccamaw Riverkeeper, and I work for Winyah Rivers Alliance. And we are an alliance of river keepers that protect the entire greater Winyah Bay watershed. So we have a lot of rivers, and our goal is to have river keepers on all of those rivers. Right now there's only 2 of us. There's me, the Waccamaw Riverkeeper, and then we have a river keeper on the Lumber River and also on the little PD a little bit, and that's Jeff Curry. He's our lumber river keeper.
What do you like most about your job?
The river, of course. I love the river. And I love talking to people about their experiences on the river. I love to hear when people have great river stories.
Kayaking, canoeing, there's so many more opportunities for people than ever before in the way of
Exactly.
rentals. And this is a really neat time to see some tree reflection in the water, and sometimes we see those fall colors.
Oh yeah, and with the river being a blackwater river, it's stained with those tannins from our swamp, so you get that amazing reflection. Like the pictures, you can't take a bad picture on the river.
How long have you been at this?
I've been doing this for a little over 3 years, so since 2017.
And what do you think the biggest concerns are for the future, Cara?
So for the Waccamaw, I would say some of our biggest concerns is changing land use. If you add more impervious surfaces, you're changing the way the water flows. With more people moving here, we just have to make those changes, but we have to learn how to do it sustainably and in a way that protects the river.
I know that if it wasn't for the COVID issue, there'd be so many fundraisers and opportunities to get out and clean up the river together. But next year, if we all get vaccinated, it'll be a great opportunity to celebrate a 20th anniversary.
Yeah, Winyah Rivers and the Waccamaw Riverkeeper program turns 20 next year. It's super exciting for us. But yeah, we're hoping that by that time we'll be able to do some celebrations and get people out to enjoy the river with us.
So I know that usually you have a big conference. How will that be held next year?
Sure. So because of the pandemic and concerns over, people being close together in an enclosed space, we're going to do a month-long event, and we're going to have a combination of virtual seminars and also in-person events that could be cleanups or other activities. We're in the planning stages. And it's going to be from March 22nd of 2021, which is World Water Day, to April 22nd, 2021, which is Earth Day.
Oh, how perfect is that?
It works out just perfectly.
I know that as a nonprofit, you can certainly use more volunteers.
We can always use volunteers. Our volunteer monitoring program is back in action. They're wearing masks, we're socially distancing at the landings, and we have some need for volunteers right now to help out with that program. And they can contact me to get more information. And then we're always looking for people to do cleanups. And what's great about those is you can do them on your own. You don't have to be with a big group. If you're interested in doing it, you can get supplies from me. We have gloves and pickers and trash bags, all that good stuff, and we'll give it to you and you can go do your own cleanup.
Let's remind everybody about the website where you also have a winner posted there.
Yes, we have the winner of this year, 2020's photo contest, and that's an annual photo contest that we do where people submit photos from the watershed and the river, and they're absolutely gorgeous. We get so many great pictures every year, and we'll be doing that again in 2021.
So if you would like to reach out to Cara, and let's face it, friends, it's a great time to get out and about and be supportive of the Waccamaw Riverkeeper. There's all the information to reach her. And Cara, I hope your Thanksgiving's going to be wonderful, and I hope to see you one day soon on the river.
Oh yeah.
McKenzie Beach of Georgetown County? That's right, learn all about it next.
Honey, I think I'll adjust the thermostat. It's getting a little cool.
Mom, you don't have to get up to do that. I've installed the HTC Connected Home app on your phone. See, you can adjust the temperature from anywhere. Okay, Mom, I've got to go. Thanks for house sitting. Make sure to lock the door and set the alarm.
No problem. I have everything I need right here.
HTC Self-Install Kit, $0 with 36-month monitoring commitment.
HTC, this is life. Connect with it.
There's a new book out in our community, and I know it's something everyone's going to be interested in. It's called McKenzie Beach Memories. And whether you know it or not, you drive past the McKenzie Beach area on a regular basis if you live here on the Grand Strand. Meet Natalie Daise. Natalie is the illustrator for this book. Her husband is the author of the book. but the story was told to him by somebody very important to the entire process. Let's first introduce Natalie. Natalie, welcome. I've wanted to get you on the show for a long time because you are not just famous in your own mind. We all know you from Gullah Gullah Island many moons ago on Nickelodeon.
Yes, I will be forever known as Dancing with the Frog.
But you're still dancing with Ron, so, you know.
I am, but he's not a frog. Let's not, you know.
No, he's much better he's the prince. You went from the frog to the prince. For those of you who don't know, of course, Natalie is married to Ron Daise from beautiful Brook Green Gardens. And this was really quite an effort of teamwork. Let's talk about your book.
Yes, well, this is our first really book collaboration. Mr. Johnny L. Ford, who lives on Pawleys Island and grew up in the community, came to Ron because he wanted to write a book about his memories on McKenzie Beach. And so working with Ron, they wrote the book, and then they reached out to me and asked me to illustrate the book. And I was really honored to do that.
Well, you're a fabulous artist. We see your artwork all around you there in your studio where you are now. And so you were the perfect person to collaborate. Was it challenging, or did it all just come naturally?
It was challenging. I am a painter, but generally I paint what I think about. I paint my own stories. So to do honor to someone else's stories, it was a challenge. Mr. Ford is a very soft-spoken man, and he had shared the story with Ron, and then they just sort of like, they gave me the manuscript and said, here you go. And I thought, well, what part of the story
do you want me to illustrate?
Am I going to paint? And how can I best tell the story through my artwork? And it took me about a year, really. I spent a lot of time looking for pictures of the actual McKenzie Beach.
Tell everyone where McKenzie Beach is located, because as I referred to in the beginning, we pass this all the time, and many people do not even realize the history that is from there.
Well, if you're coming up, if you're heading toward Myrtle Beach, let's say from Charleston on 17 Business, at some point right around Pawleys Island, you'll see to your right a building that's covered almost in vines. Very interesting looking building, beautiful old trees, magnolia trees and oaks around it. They don't realize that is what is left of the McKenzie Beach Motel, or at one point it was known as the Magnolia Beach Motel. And that was the black beach in the area. You know, at that time, it was all the beaches were segregated. And in the book, Mr. McKenzie even talks a little bit about trying to figure out how you could have a black beach and a white beach, same ocean, same sand, but that was the black beach. And so Mr. McKenzie owned that area of beach, and he developed it there. And that's where all of the black folk in the community would go to hang out on the weekends, and people would travel in from other areas to stay at the hotels and the cabins, and performers, big name performers who would play up and down the Grand Strand, like Ella Fitzgerald and Duke Ellington and Sarah Vaughan and other such groups. They would stay there because they could play at the other hotels, but they couldn't stay at those hotels.
Sad, yeah, a sad time of history. But yet this stuff should be preserved. I hope that whenever that area gets developed, you know, and I know there's a lot of controversy about people wanting to develop it, I hope that the history will be certainly cherished.
I hope so. Now, there are still some original family owners who own some of that, but many of the original families who owned property there still do. And so there's some, you know, thinking about what they might want to actually have happen there.
Hold your book up. Let's show it to everyone. It is just, even the cover is beautiful and fun. Now, I'm told that even though it's a children's book, adults will love it because it is filled with history.
Yeah, I think adults will love it. Plus, I have always loved children's books. I've been collecting them, and I still do. But because there is a lot of great history here, and the story is just a very sweet and touching one. This particular story is about one summer that Mr. Ford spent at McKenzie Beach. His grandfather and his mother worked and cooked, did all the food in the dining hall, and he would help. And so he just talked about his memories there, seeing the other children and the other adults, and listening to the bands coming and playing, and seeing all the folk jitterbugging and dancing under the moonlight. So,
what was the thing that that really stuck in your mind, Natalie, about McKenzie Beach that you were really surprised about after working with Ron on the research and everything for the book? What amazed you the most?
I don't think I was surprised, but I loved the fact, I loved the vision of this Black community at the beach. You know, I go to that beach now, Litchfield Beach, go down that end. And sometimes I never see a brown person, but I just loved that story of this wonderful, vibrant, living community there. And so one of the biggest joys about illustrating it was just painting all the brown people in all the various shades, all the children singing and dancing and jumping rope and swimming. So it wasn't so much it was a surprise as it was affirmation that
there was joy.
Yes, that we were here and we are here, and there was joy and good memories, just an affirmation of community.
There must be some other stories. Do you think there might be another book or a follow-up? Has there been any discussion?
You know, Mr. Ford may or may not want to, but there are probably so many people with stories about McKenzie Beach. And when I began doing this research, I would begin to hear stuff. Some of them were more adult stories about, the motel at McKenzie Beach. But some were from folk in the community who would just come, even though they didn't come to stay, Black and white, who would come to hear the music and dance at the McKenzie Beach Pavilion. So there are lots of different stories. I think someone was telling me once about a gentleman who told him how he asked his wife to marry him at McKenzie Beach. So I know there are probably a lot of them. I'd love for some folk to come and tell more of those stories.
Yeah. So Natalie, where's the book on sale?
There are several places where you can get McKenzie Beach Memories. Burroughs and Chapin Art Museum in Myrtle Beach has it. The Rice Museum down on Front Street in Georgetown. Linda Ketron at Class in Pawleys, of course, she has it. She's the publisher.
She's got everything.
Yes, she's got it all. Litchfield Books has it. And also the Brook Green Gardens Keepsakes has the book as well.
Hopefully.
Oh, and I've got it. You can go to my website, nataliedaiseart.com, if you just want to do it online digitally, and you can get it from me too.
And finally, in wrapping up, what has touched your heart through this experience? I mean, you've worked with your husband, as you said, for 36 years, but there must be some part of this that was different for you.
Working with Mr. Ford, it was so important to me to do this right, because what he wanted most, he really wasn't even thinking about all the people seeing his book. He wanted his grandchildren to have his memories. He just wanted to share that. And the whole time that I worked on this book, I thought, this is a gift from Mr. Ford to his family. And then it turns out to be a gift from Mr. Ford to all of us. So I was just so honored to be a part of that and to honor Mr. Ford's desire to share his stories. And, for all of us, those of us who have these stories, they're important. History is not just those big things that are in the history books. History is our memories. And I hope folk will share more of them.
And one more thing, Natalie, you're in your art studio there, so we're going to expect some more artistic things coming from you. And what is your next project?
I'm actually starting another children's book in development. So I can't say much more about it because it's not contracted yet, but I'm excited about that. And I continue painting in series. I do a collard green painting series. You see lots of greens. And I am finally developing some online streaming content classes. I've been working on that for a while, but we're all trying to figure this stuff out.
You've been in education for so long. I mean, even Gullah Gullah Island was an education for children. So you're going to keep on doing education, keeping on doing art, writing. My goodness, your life is full. How wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie Daise, for being with us. And Mr. Ford, wherever you are down in Pawleys, we salute you and thank you for documenting this history. Hear all about a food bank for pets in Murrells Inlet and Loris. That's what's coming up.
As fellow community members, HTC believes in helping friends and neighbors protect what matters most. With integrated home technology, I can control my home and security system from my smartphone. HTC Security makes my job easier and keeps my world running smoothly. No matter where the day takes me, HTC brings reliable, world-class security right here to Horry and Georgetown counties because you are here, and so are we.
Upgrade your security with a video doorbell from HTC.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
This segment of HTC Inside Out is presented by the McGuire Law Firm. Be kind today and tomorrow.
November is the time when we all think about food. Well, guess what? Our pets are thinking of the same thing. And that's why I was excited when I found out about this nonprofit organization. It's called Keep Our Pets Foodbank. Isn't that exciting? A food bank for our pets. And it's especially designed for people who are in need of pet food and maybe fall between the cracks of having enough money for their food and the pets. Jennifer, it is so good to meet you, Jennifer Johnson. Tell me a little bit about this organization and how long you've been at it.
Hey, Diane. Well, the organization started in 2012. It was founded by Bill and Linda Donahue, who were into pet rescue and working with local charities. And she realized that people were giving up their pets at the shelters because they could not feed them. A lot of the elderly and people that maybe had lost their jobs or their homes to fire. And she passed away before the dream came true, but it is in her honor. And Bill is the director and co-founder. So it's been in Murrells Inlet since 2012, and we're growing and reaching more people. We have almost 1,000 clients that we help with their food.
Your location is where in Murrells Inlet?
We are on the bypass south, and we are next to Thomas Building Supply, and we're located in Live Oak Plaza, right in the front.
I'm going to let you introduce Bill in just a minute, but before we do that, you are also serving the Loris community, and I was really excited about that because I know that there's a lot of people there who are benefiting.
Yes, we have some people that would drive to us from Loris, but a lot of people hardly have reliable transportation or they don't have vehicles. So we have been blessed to be able to go to Crossway Church in Loris the third Thursday of each month, and then people can come as they go to the People Food Bank. Then we're the next stop. We take our pet trailer and they can get food for their cats and dogs. And we have litters sometimes, and sometimes we have other things for the pets. But it's very rewarding because it's a very area in need.
So in Loris, you're at Crossway the third Thursday of every month. And then give me your hours at your location in Murrells Inlet near Thomas Supply.
We are there on Sundays from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. And our clients come once a month. Each, certain Sundays is their time to come. They can come like every 30 days. And that way we balance out all of our clients so we can serve everyone.
Well, let's bring Bill in. This is some dedication. Bill, we want to say hi. I know that you put your marketing director here, and she's a good one. Good to see you, Bill, and it's a wonderful thing that you and Linda started, and now you and Jennifer are continuing. And you guys must love pets a lot. This is a big dedication.
We do indeed. We have a lot of our own.
So let me get back to Jennifer with some questions like grants. I know that you guys have received quite a few grants, including one from the Doris Day Foundation.
Yes, that was recently, and I always loved Doris Day and we both admired all of her love of pets. And we decided to use that grant for helping our clients get their pets neutered and spayed. And we are working with Cats Meow, and our clients fill out a form. We give them a coupon. They give us $20, and they can get their cats neutered or spayed. So Kim at Keep Our Pets and her veterinarian were kind enough to offer their services to help us with that.
Kim at Cats Meow?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's an awesome dedication to be able to do that for $20.
I know. Yes, it is.
I heard too, Bill and Jennifer, that you guys have some really good food. This isn't like cheap stuff. You guys are getting some of the best.
Right. You want to tell us?
We get neutral, we get blue, natural balance, all grain-free food, and they're healthy for the pet. Because it's, statistically speaking, the healthier food that goes into them, the healthier the pet is, which reduces your veterinary bill.
I believe, Jennifer, on the phone, you told me that you are tied into Chewy, the organization. And
we get some Chewy shipments through the rescue bank, and sometimes we get crates, carriers, we get different things, wheelchairs, we get blessed with a lot of things that our clients can use that would cost a lot of money if they didn't go through us.
So what are your needs right now, Bill?
Monetary donations do the best because we pay about 12 cents a pound for our food, and that covers the shipping cost. The food is donated. We pass the 12 cents on to customers, but that's just half the shipping. We also have to go to Georgia to get it ourselves, so it costs us another 12 cents. Right now we have in about 1,000 clients, and we do about 5,000 pounds of food a month.
My goodness. Well, I guess you could use some volunteers with that many clients.
Yes, we love what we do, but we need young people that are good with the websites, that are good with events. We would like to do more reaching out in the community and raise money with some maybe karaoke for critters or something like that. And we can use the monetary donations, but we welcome any volunteer. There's something for everyone, young or old.
Sounds wonderful. You guys are doing great work for God's critters. Thank you so much, Bill and Jennifer, for being with us. It's a great Thanksgiving feature, don't you think? And it's Keep Our Pets Foodbank. For more information, there's the address and the phone number.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Right after this break, award-winning chef Danny Smith will be joining us.
The bedrock principle that drives our law firm is our unyielding dedication to working for the best interests of our clients.
The whole staff of the firm were very welcoming and nurturing to us. Everyone in the family was cared for.
This firm has made us feel so welcome and comforted, stepping us through and making us feel like family.
We will take care of you and make sure that you're treated fairly and treated properly.
Having Danny Smith in my very own kitchen, well, I feel like I'm in heaven. What can I say? You know the name Danny Smith. He was at Frank's and there for 9 years? And I know they must be crying because he's started his own business, but we're happy for him because he's becoming his own entrepreneur. And the business is called All About You, Private Fine Dining. I see it there on your shirt. Welcome to the show, Danny.
Thank you, Diane. I'm very happy to be here.
And Danny was featured on our show a couple of years ago when he was Myrtle Beach Chef of the Year, went on to the state to be the runner-up Chef of the Year. He's won the Seafood Chef of the Year. He's won all sorts of incredible awards. And so having his own business is exciting. But you've also have a new endeavor, a part-time endeavor at Wedgefield. Tell me about that.
Last month I started at Wedgefield Country Club in Georgetown as the executive chef. Planning on doing a lot of different things out at that area.
How many days a week are they open?
They're open 3 days a week now, but we plan to open at least 5 here pretty soon.
So that's going to keep you busy, but it'll still give you an opportunity to do all your catering.
Yes, ma'am. It gives me a home base to work out of, and also I can have people come to me now, and also just being able to go into people's houses is my favorite thing to do.
And so you're here in my house, and what are we going to do?
We're going to do a steak dinner today. Everybody's thinking about turkeys, but I'm thinking about steak for the holidays. I'm going to do a pan-seared filet with some sauteed fingerling potatoes and some roasted yellow squash and zucchini with some mushrooms and also some red, yellow, and peppers.
Well, why don't you start decorating the plate as I remind people that we eat with our eyes, right? And that's the whole point of this presentation, to show you that you can't just throw a steak and baked potato on the plate and make it look good. Danny said color is key.
When I first start thinking about ideas for doing a special or a dinner, I always think about color, number one. Number one, the color is everybody eats with their eyes. And if it looks good and it tastes good, then people are going to be really happy to come back to try your food again. And what I do with these peppers and vegetables, I roast them off in the oven individually so you get the nice color on them.
It's squash, zucchini, and what's the green, Danny?
The green is green pepper.
Oh, green pepper.
Green pepper, squash, and peppers.
I see.
And then at the very end, I'm going to keep adding color, more color you can get on the plate.
And I like the way you're stacking it.
Yeah, because it's able to keep it a little bit warmer than it normally would. It just gives it for a little bit nicer of a presentation. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put the fingerling potatoes down. Fingerlings are one of my favorite potatoes because they're so diverse. You can use them in a lot of different things. I definitely enjoy using nice pretty colors on them. And fingerlings are one of those things that if you need to cook them properly, you need to boil. Anything below the ground needs to be boiled first before you roast them, and then just roast them in your oven.
Wow, now I've never heard that before. So
Yes.
many times I'll cut up potatoes and put the French fries in the oven and sprinkle them with salt and pepper, but if you boil them, parboil them?
Yep, pre-cook them. Now I'm going to go to the oven here and grab my steak out.
Oh yeah, that smells good. Smelling good out of that oven. And so Danny, tell me a little bit about the Thanksgiving you remember most as a kid in Syracuse. Isn't that where you grew up?
I was born and raised in Watertown, New York, lived in Syracuse for quite a while. Home was really traditional. We always had the turkey and the stuffing and the nice mashed potatoes. We did a little something different that most people don't do. A fruit salad. It was one that my grandmother used to make. It would be just all the fruit cocktail mixed with apples and walnuts and marshmallows, and it's just a nice, refreshing. Not quite a dessert, but it's nice and sweet. So that was something that I really enjoyed. And holidays, I really enjoyed working. I actually helped my mother a lot in the kitchen during the holidays because she did all the cooking. And there was 4 kids plus my dad, and we always had relatives over for the holidays. So here, got all the proteins, everything on the plate now. Now I'm going to start doing a little bit of the garnish work that makes the plate even look a little bit nicer. I always like to use microgreens because we have a lot of microgreen farmers in our area, and it's nice to use the nice local microgreens.
As you're doing that, I saw in your series of awards a Drum Major Award. I mean, what does that mean? Do you play music? Do you march? What is that? What is the story?
I was very shocked when I received that award. It's a Martin Luther King Drum Major Award. It's for the work you do in your community. I was very honored and pleased to receive that award. It's one of my favorite things to do is give back to the community.
Yeah, Danny won't brag on himself, so let me just tell you, he does tons of charity work. Created his own charity, as a matter of fact, that raised money for, is it Friendship?
Friendship Place in Georgetown.
In Georgetown.
Yes, ma'am.
And they've raised quite a bit of money, organizing chefs to do dinners and presenting Friendship with a check. And then, of course, he's done the Autism Network fundraiser, and I know you do so many others. I admire our chefs in the community for doing so much great charity work. And it takes time and money out of your own pocket to do.
It does take a lot of time and money out of your pocket, but at the end of the day, the rewards that you get from just being able to help people out in the community.
And that's what you do.
That's what I do. I try to stay as local as possible. And that's another good thing that's getting back out into the country club there. I'll be able to use the farmers a little bit, have them come see me a little bit more.
But Danny, you have to be one of the hardest working chefs on the Grand Strand between now having your own business, and I know leaving Frank's, which was like, 6 or 7 days a week, had to be taxing from the standpoint of not having time to do your own business. At least with this gig at Wedgefield,
yes, ma'am,
you will have some more time to yourself. But you also work at a pizza place one day a week just because they're friends and you love those people.
Yes, ma'am. Our Way Pizza Family Tavern. I work with Charlie Bardo, one of my favorite people to work with in this area. We do a lot of stuff outside of it for the community, and we're looking forward to some new adventures.
So Danny, what kind of sauce is that?
That is a cherry bordelaise. I take fresh cherries and port wine and I reduce that down to a simmer, then add a little bit of veal demi-glace to that.
I know we're supposed to be social distancing, so I must pull the plate toward me. That is delicious.
Yeah,
delicious.
thank you.
Tell me more about the business. So you're going to people's homes, you'll do two people, 4 people, 20 people, but you also do yard parties.
Yes, I can come and do just about anything you need. My specialty is 2 to 12, but I can do up to 200 people if we really need to do a nice dinner. And I can set up in your backyard, by the pool, anywhere you like me to come. I'm mobile. But I can also come into your house, is where I do most of my business, come in and do the parties at 2 to 12, and start with a nice small amuse-bouche from me, and then we do an appetizer, a soup, a salad, a fish course, a beef course, and then we finish it off with a dessert. And I usually bring one server in with me and a helper. So by the time we leave, we get your house cleaned up and you won't even know that we're there.
And what are some of your goals for Wedgefield and really building up that business? And by the way, it's open to the public.
Yes, it is. My goal is to bring a little bit of fine dining to the area, but not have it be overpriced. I want people to come in and have a nice meal, a nice presentation, and enjoy themselves, and be able to come back a couple times a month instead of once every couple months.
So that's Wedgefield Country Club in Georgetown. And we're going to give you the phone number of All About You. If you would like Danny to come into your home over the holidays or into the new year, he'd love to hear from you. Let's support Danny. You know how great the food has always been at Frank's, and with him being there 9 years, you know that what he does in your home is going to be spectacular. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Diane. I appreciate it.
Have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Now, before we wrap it all up, I do want to remind you about a great exhibit at the Art Museum in Myrtle Beach. It's the art of Mara Kenny. She was an art teacher for Coastal Carolina University for years. And the name of the exhibit is Where the Rivers Flow. It is fantastic. Don't miss it. And the Art Museum, by the way, is free. And while you're there, don't miss the gift shop and start your Christmas shopping early. Thanks for joining us for Inside Out. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. See you next month.
Inside Out is presented by HTC. This is Life. Connect with it. And Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food where Mama eats. Along with the McGuire Law Firm. Be kind today and tomorrow.